Welcome to the post-race press conference here with our Pro Shifter drivers, Billy Musgrave, our 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour champion, Danny Formal, your race winner today, and Kyle Wick, finishing up on the podium with us here today. First of all, we'll start with Billy, our champ. Has it sunk in yet? I know you said you didn't have words in your post-race interview, but a couple of hours later now, what are you feeling?
Sunk in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I still don't know if I quite have the words. I mean, it's been my first pro shifter season was 2013. I can't even say, how many times we've been so close and, always had a bad race here or there. They always, kind of seem to slip through our fingers. Can't tell you how many times I finished second or third to, AJ, Jake, Danny, even Kyle. Yeah, it seems like I'm always in it, but something always ends up happening, and yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's racing. A lot of those years I've been so focused on the team and the growth and all that stuff. Sometimes the championships just kind of came second. So, our mindset coming into this weekend was definitely very championship oriented, but also development with the chassis and everything that we've said before. And yeah, I mean, for us to just execute, even though it wasn't perfect and we didn't have the pace always, but to just kind of keep things on track and, like I said, play our hand the best that we could. And yeah, it ended up working out.
Next to you, Danny, your first win in regular season since, I would say, quite some time. Your first with GFC. How's the feeling been, finally getting yourself back to the top step?
No, first of all, it's awesome to come karting again. My body doesn't appreciate it, but I very much do. It's my favorite form of motorsports, and it always will be. I've had very bad luck around this place. Been fast, been slow, mostly slow. But yeah, coming in the weekend, knowing I was going to make weight, very beneficial around a place like this. And on session one, I told Gary we had a package we could fight with. Rainey with the Sweet Tech engines just gave us, Kyle, myself, and Hunter and Jacob, just some crazy amounts of power. And we just had to nail it with the carburation and nail it with the tire pressure. And we're talking, laughing about, we ran identical setup from when I got here on Thursday to what I raced in the final. So it was just trying different things, tire pressures, casters, wider, narrower, different wheels, stuff like that, because, you can't just stay alone. Even though you're fast, you have to try to improve and get better. And we did. Kyle and I tried a lot of different things during the heats. And yeah, we nailed it for the final, really. The pace was phenomenal. The go-karts were incredible. The last couple laps, Kyle and myself gave the people a show. I think it was fantastic racing. Obviously, a lot of respect between me and Kyle. We raced like this hard, I think 2 years ago in Vegas too. He got the better of me that day. He did a really good pass on me, and it was super clean. So I remember he hit me off pretty hard one time, and then the next corner I hit him off, and we're like, okay, we're good. Let's go. So it was awesome. And yeah, just so proud of GFC. 1-2, his first 1-2 in Summer Nationals. And I'm just very, very happy.
Kyle, for you as well, a return back to the podium in quite some time. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. I made it hard on myself with a poor performance in the Super Bowl. Obviously, in the first quali, we did good, and then I just missed the lap again. But this weekend, we had the pace, and with the engine, was it better for racing, and we were able to work our way forward. Obviously, this track is much better racing in the shifter than the previous tracks. So it was a lot easier to start farther back and work our way forward. With the contact with Jay, I had an issue in the pre-final, which that sent me back a bit, but it was still able to work our way back forward.
Question for Billy. Obviously, your championship came with heartbreak for Jay Irwin with a blown engine, mechanical. Did you get to talk to Jay after the race? And if so, what was said? If not, do you have any words for Jay or any advice?
I haven't talked to him yet, no. Yeah, I mean, it's heartbreaking when stuff like that happens. I mean, I can't say, I've been doing this long enough. It's happened to me. I've been in those situations. At 17 years old, I think it's awesome for him to, show the karting world his pace. He's fast and he's got moments, and at just 17 years old, it's awesome to see. So, I hope more kids see that, and more kids, we already got 42 shifters, stacked, and this is probably the most stacked shifter kart, pro shifter field we've had in SKUSA history, if not, North American karting history, period. To win on a day like this, for Danny and Kyle, the pace they showed today, you could take any driver in the world on any car, and I don't think they would have beat him. So the level that we're at, it means a lot. And yes, for a 17-year-old kid to be able to compete with us at that level, it's awesome to see. You know what I'm saying? And I just, as I get older and older, you know what I'm saying? I just love to see that, and I love to see more of it.
Danny, over to you, and I'll pose a little bit of the same question, right? The level of competition this year, you've been racing Pro Shifter for almost 15 years, I think, and what would you say about the level of competition here at the SKUSA Pro Tour this year?
First of all, I'm old, but not that old. 2016 was my first season, so 8 years. It's still pretty old. When Jay was 17, I'm 29, so, I already had a few races under my belt by the time he was born. So, yeah, it's phenomenal to see 42 or 44 go-karts, whatever we had this weekend, and young guys, old guys, middle guys, people move from X30 to race in KZ, people move from KA to race KZ. It's amazing to see. I think the package is so phenomenal to drive, and it really does help in racing. Obviously, I'm full-time racing this season in cars, and it helps so much. People don't understand how much it helps. And the only class that helps that much is KZ. So, I'll say it, and I'll always say it. Whenever I have time, whenever my schedule allows it, and when my team allows it, I will be here racing these guys. And, it's amazing to see the growth in KZ. I was talking to Tom and the scales. I remember the back-to-back weekends in 2020. And also Kyle and I were talking that I was the only KZ in that field racing against 175s. And one out of, 25 KZs. And now there's 44 of us. Plus, I'm not sure, I think 20 masters. So it's amazing. It's growing so much. And the whole karting is really, the karting industry is growing so much. And I'm really happy to be a part of it. And as I get older, it hurts the body more, but the speed and the mental game comes in a different way. You drive a different way, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and today it did.
And on the same topic, right, of younger kids moving up, your fellow countryman, Diego Ardiles, made his debut in Pro Shifter here this weekend. Did you give him any advice, at the early stages of the weekend?
Well, I've been helping him out in Costa Rica when I go over there. I've been helping him out, coaching him when I can. The problem in Costa Rica, our asphalt is extremely grippy. We run an extremely grippy tire too. He has about 60 pounds of lead on the go-kart. So whatever we do, it doesn't turn. So, I just told him this weekend, have fun, learn. And he did a great job. I think showed some decent pace. And some of the heats, he was 2-3 tenths off the pace. For being such a small kid with so much weight on the go-kart, it's not easy. Makes it even heavier for him. So, it's awesome to see guys like him come into KZ and do well. And like Billy stated, 17-year-old Jay, fighting for the championship. I think his first full season or second full season in SKUSA. It's amazing to see these younger drivers come up and not go straight to cars, because they need a couple years in gearbox to really, for me, excel in cars. If you can excel in cars if you start and drive cars and that's all you do, but it makes it a lot more simple when you do a couple years in KZ and jump up.
Yeah, thank you. Emery Lytle with Kart Chaser. Billy, you came into the final, you were right neck and neck with Jay. In the early couple of laps, it seemed like you were in a chaotic battle through the midfield. At what point in the final, when you saw Mateus and Andrew and AJ kind of going at it, was there kind of like a championship preservation mindset, or were you just trying to get as much as you could out of the battle?
I'd be lying if I said the championship wasn't on my mind. I knew from the get-go, my plan was to go, pretty high on the pressure and try to get away from the chaos, like I said before. Because, I went a little low in that pre-final, and it was a little sketchy there for a couple laps, and I knew in the main, with everybody on new tires, it was going to get super dicey super early. So, if I found myself on the back foot too early, you never know, you know what I'm saying? Like, some crazy stuff can happen. You can end up off the track or crashed. It might not even be your fault, but if you're slipping backwards, you put yourself in really vulnerable positions. So, in my old age and wisdom, I decided to go a little high on pressure just so I could keep myself safe in those opening laps, and then from there I can manage. After you get through the first 5-6 laps, things start to calm down, and when guys come up on you, even if I fell off, I knew okay, I could manage this, and if one guy picks me off here or there, as long as I could manage it, stay in control, it was okay. And then as soon as I saw some Magic Karts and Burrells, start getting a little rubby out there, I knew I was probably in good shape, so I just kind of sat back, waited for that to play out as it did. And once all that stuff went down, I just kind of played it safe from there and kind of knew where I was at. I didn't really see Jay off the track, so I didn't know where he was coming. So honestly, my thoughts, halfway through that race was just kind of like preserve the tire. I knew I was, like I said earlier, way too much grip in the car, and then, started losing the tires as I started to overdrive it to just kind of keep that pace. So then I kind of really backed it down and made sure that, hey, if I saw him come up or if I, needed to fight, I had something left in it so I could fight. So I, saw, I think Bailiff come by and Morgado come by, and I was like, okay, we're good. And then I saw Josh back there with like 3 or 4 to go, and I'm like, all right, I think I'm good. I can kind of push to the end. And yeah, from there we brought it home. So, it's weird. I'm not used to racing that way. Usually we're full tilt trying to win the race. And if you don't win the race, really, who cares what happens? So yeah, it was kind of a wild way to race, but what we needed to execute, we executed.
Yeah, and kind of following up on that, last year, a little bit of deja vu from this year to last year. Last year, you pick up a landmark Pro Tour victory here on the heels of a developing weekend. This year, you win a landmark Pro Tour championship off the heels of kind of a developing weekend for you with the new chassis. How do you assess kind of where your program has gone from the start of the year to now, and sort of how are you taking this momentum into Vegas?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I still have a love-hate relationship with this place. Track layout's awesome, but I swear every time we come here, it's just throws a total curveball at you, no matter what you think you got. But no, development-wise, it's been an absolutely phenomenal weekend. As we all just kind of sat around our tent and let everything kind of soak in. Me and Justin, and we looked at each other, JD, and we, that's core 3 guys right now in the factory. And we looked at each other and we're like, this is the worst we're ever going to be. So, that performance on track was the worst that the kart's ever going to be. This is the slowest we'll ever be. And from here, we're going to go back home, and we already have, so many different things we're going to work on and improve. And now we have everything in place that we can make those iterations and those improvements so much faster and so much, better. So moving forward into the next race, we got a Pro Kart race at Sonoma, I think, in another month. So I'll be able to go up there and, have some fight with the GFC boys at their home turf, which will be fun. No.
I have a race at home that I got to work.
All right.
You'll get Evansino. It'll be quick.
All right. Well, still, we'll bring some new stuff up there to come test. And then, by the time we roll into Supernats, I'm fully expecting to be, right where I want to be.
Yeah, even Supernats, he started good. And Kyle, over to you this weekend. I'm sure you would have loved to be the guy that was the 1 or the 1-2, but you've been there in the trenches, right, where you guys have been with, even like we talked at Cincinnati, right? Speed good,
yeah.
Just that overall kind of final result, unlike today. So speak to that. What was the difference maker for you guys of executing and being able to pull off what you did?
Rainey's been working hard. We switched from the IAME to the TM this weekend, and that made it easier for us to race. The IAME is great when we need to go qualify, and the performance of the engine's great, but when you get in the racing battles, it's harder. So we switched to the TM for this one, and we were able to race our way forward easier.
Now, we caught a little bit. I don't know which angle we were on, but obviously we have our TV here playing back the replay. Caleb even asked Gary his thoughts about what the racecraft was. I know you and I have had some talks throughout the year about a bunch of different things. So what you saw coming through the field, what do you make of it all?
SKUSA has to step in. It's a problem now. Just saying that we can blow people out of the way is not okay. A bump and run for the win on the last lap still isn't really okay. And now you get it in the middle of the race, people just blowing each other out of the way, all the way through the field now. So there's just zero respect. Renadin got DQ'd for a little swerve, but I got swerved many, many times in the midfield and nothing.
Yeah, no, you guys feel free to jump in, by the way, on any of these too.
So if I can jump in there, let's rewind back to 2023. We had the bumpers on, the pushback bumpers. And I remember after Utah 2023, yeah, you were. Was it? Yeah, on the OTK.
It wasn't.
I don't think you finished.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Your favorite weekend. Might have blocked that one out.
So I wasn't there. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And again, I ended up losing that championship by 6 points or 7 points. And in that race, in that main event, one of the days, or however we did the format back then, I remember, we were 5th, 6th, and Danny had to start at the back for some reason. Got a good start, was up coming. And, we got into one of the last corners on the first lap. Somebody hit me, spun me around, and Danny ended up hitting me nose to nose. And it pushed my bumper in. And I grabbed the clutch, I kept going, but I had a push back bumper. And we ran the whole rest of the race, got back up inside, I forget, whatever, 6th or 7th, something like that, salvaged some points, but ended up with a pushback bumper. And, back then it wasn't really protestable unless you had a GoPro, and, of course the GoPro didn't work that session. So ended up losing 2 or 3 spots because of the pushback, and you look, back in history, and that would have won me that championship. So I remember having a long conversation with the SKUSA officials after that saying, hey, we're pro drivers. We're pro shifter drivers. We're not going to use our front bumpers to move people out of the way. We know better than that because we know when you start that, there's going to be consequences. So, I was the one that kind of led that, discussion and really started that. And, when we started 2024, they said, okay, guys, you're professionals. We can take the pushbacks off. And, honestly, all 2024 has been awesome. Most of this year has been awesome.
We're 2025.
I was saying 24, yeah. 24 was good.
24 was fine.
24 was good, clean. And then we fast forward to 25, and, last lap at Houston, it was just a little bump and run, but it opened the door. And so now with that precedent set, and the SKUSA officials, knew it, Tom knows it, but the race director at the time decided that was okay. And that kind of opened the floodgates. So you saw it start to kick off at Cincinnati. There was little stuff here and there. And then obviously we come into this kind of weekend, you're a lot faster track, a little bit less braking zones, and you can kind of, shove somebody out of the way a little bit easier. And it was happening down the midfield quite a lot. I mean, yeah, those races where I had to start 15th in those heat races, that was some gnarly racing. And at the end of the day, like what Kyle said, dude, we're supposed to be professionals. We're supposed to not race like that and not have to race like that. I mean, we've all been racing each other for so many years now, and yeah, we'll get into it here and there. But dude, at the end of the day, we shake hands, go, hey man, when it's your day, it's going to be your day. It's my day, it's going to be my day, and we're going to race, we're going to have fun, and we're going to go, be professionals. So, from my standpoint, it's a bummer to see. And yeah, you go back and you look at, the stuff that was going on between, the red karts and the magic karts out there, and that's really just a culmination, exactly, of what happened in Houston. So for me, I lost a Pro Tour win because of something like that, but I ended up winning a championship because of that. So, as we move forward into Supernats, I think definitely something needs to happen or needs to look at, so that way, we don't have something in Supernats where it just becomes an absolute, crash fest. But yeah, that's just my 2 thoughts.
No, I agree with everything Bailey's saying. Kids are going to see this and be like, well, I'm just going to do this. And they're going to get bumpers. They don't understand. You see a mini or micro, oh, he did it. Oh, but you get a bumper. So it's just teaching bad habits. You don't see people do this in big cars. You don't see in NASCAR, maybe, but we're not NASCAR. At the end of the day, there has to be respect, especially in the pro classes. We're running with no bumper. Everyone's spending so much money, so much time, so much effort to be here. And I want to give Mateus a big hug. We had our issues in the past. He was my teammate in January in Orlando. We shook hands. We worked together. We did well. It just sucks. I don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing Andrew not finish either. He was so fast too this weekend. They didn't have to race like that. And that's where it comes down to is we don't have to race like that to put a show on. We don't. Kyle and I, we had the best show. If you want to see actual racing, that's what actual racing is. He was never going to crash me, and if he was in front of me, I would never have crashed him. I don't care if he's my teammate or not. I don't race like that. I would have never crashed Kyle for a win, ever. Even if I was in a Tony Kart, Burrell, Maranello, it doesn't matter. I just don't drive like that because that's not a win. That's going down to the officials. Are you going to penalize him or not? And I don't like racing like that. I don't think any of the guys like racing like that, and I think we just have to calm it down, specifically going to Vegas. Because a crash like that, you're in the barrier.
Yeah.
And Supernats tracks nowadays, we're going 90 plus miles an hour, very low grip. A little hit, you're going to go under a wall and get really hurt. Especially at the end of the straights, we put the big water barriers. Like the guy, what's his name, Albanese, crashed in qualifying and almost broke both his legs. Well, that can happen because unfortunately we left the loophole open when the bumper and run is allowed. It's pro racing, and pro racing is aggressive passing, one move, simple as that. I was behind Adrian Renadin when him and Morgado, I think what I heard, his penalty was for the shark fin incident. It was not that bad. It was a move, not good, shouldn't do that, but oh my God, there was so many worse than that. For him to legit get disqualified from the whole day, be last place. And I want to race him. The guy was super fast all week, and he deserved to be up there, top 5, fighting for the win. He was super quick in the final too. So we got to work on that. I think everyone has to work on that. It has to be cleaner racing because we can't have all of our clips on videos for people to see what we do. Oh, people agree. Like, the video is going to get the most likes, not my donuts with Kyle celebrating a 1-2 finish, historic for GFC in Summer Nats. No, we won't see that. That won't go viral. What's going to go viral is Pujoso and Morgado totaling each other. And that's not okay, you know? We got so many great drivers, so many professionals, so many teams spending this money, and all we need to show is how incredible the racing is. That's it. How incredible shifter racing is, the pinnacle of racing, and that's what we need. We need to go back to that.
A lot of good points. I think Supernats also kind of bucks a bit of the idea of you guys are racing each other consistently, and there's that natural respect too. And I think, to be honest, you know, from watching all of you guys, and granted, we're usually in the area where you're going to be under more scrutiny, right? We're always at the front of the field for the start and the back, and we'll fluctuate through the field, and we'll see a good bit of the carnage. But, you know, Billy, like you said, you know, the pushback happening in the middle of the pack, getting kind of driven into, right? Pushback or not, if that would have sent someone off, the odds of that getting caught in any series would be tough, right? And to me, you know, Morgado, his style versus what Andrews was, you know, we've seen Mateus have some pretty deep late breaking sends, and we've seen the swerving, right? Now the pendulum swung, I feel like. Watching as much racing as we've put on over the last few years, there always seems to be one or two kind of specific parts that all of the industry across all the major events are trying to eradicate. You know, the side-to-side swerving was bad for a bit, seems to have calmed down, right? Some of the back and forth blocking, some of the slams. And then in this case, if the bump and run's not allowed, does that mean now that we're hip checking each other, right? That was the other idea too with the pushback. So to me, for one, the Supernats is a totally different animal, and a great point too, because it's not the same crowd every week. Where you guys, again, this angle of you know, these two going at it, they're going to see each other again here in a couple weeks, right? So, you know, where that goes, whatever it is of the tools in their toolbox to get into each other, right?
So the biggest thing you're saying, Supernats, is a different animal. You guys have a very good page. Instagram is viral, YouTube is incredible, and Facebook is awesome. European guys see this. They are way dirtier than us. They've been learning how to drive for the last 10 years with pushback bumpers. They're going to come to Europe to Supernats. Why would they break if there's no penalty? Why would
That's
they
what
break?
we see when they come here.
Why would they break? That's what they're seeing, that racing is allowed. Why would they break? I remember, of course, Rousseau in Texas. I passed him, and he came and he's like, "Hey, why so aggressive?" I'm like, "I passed you. It's okay, right?" So like they drive so much calmer now because the bump pushback over there is no peeling. Oh, I got in this. No. 3 seconds, 6 seconds. That's how it works over there. People watch videos like this. They're going, oh, in Supernats, I'm third, and the guy in second and first are fighting. I'm just going to hit the guy in second. They're going to both take each other out. I'm not going to get a penalty. So this is what it's come down to, that these guys are all professionals. People come to Supernats, we're talking about the best of the best against America's best. And they know how to do it, so it doesn't look bad. And how low grip Vegas is, one little hit is all you need. I don't want pushback bumpers. That ruins racing. I wish it didn't have it in any class. But unfortunately, people are forgetting how dangerous the sport is when you crash this hard. We saw a bunch of big wrecks this weekend, unfortunately. I hope everyone's okay. And at Vegas, it becomes 10 times more, right? High barriers, high speeds, low grip. So I know SKUSA will fix it, and I think we got to push for just cleaner racing and pro shifter. Simple as that.
What's the solution?
Start penalizing people. Do something about it. Are you kidding me? 5 seconds for all that disaster? For both of them? Like,
Only Morgado.
oh, how? Like, again, I don't care who did it or who didn't, but Andrew took out Morgado right in front of me. I passed Morgado. I let Morgado back because I knew they were going to crash. Then they crash each other again, and then after 4 times getting crashed, Morgado, sends them pretty aggressively. Not gonna lie, guy doesn't finish the race. So if Andrew finishes that race, they don't either get penalties? I don't know. How do we know? Because Andrew doesn't get a penalty, Morgado does. So this is my point. I think the best thing to do is you bump and run, you lose a position, you finish behind. Simple as that. Or you give it back. You could make that choice. Like when you pass under yellow, like, sometimes you pass under yellow. You pass. Two? Yeah, you pass under yellow, you let it back, it's all good. Fair game. Same thing. You make a mistake, you brake too deep, you hit somebody, you pass them, let them by. If you want, if not, that should be a penalty because that's not how we race. Okay, mistake, you get into the side of somebody, okay. But like a straight up, you brake and the guy behind you brakes with your bumper, moves you out of the way, that's not okay. And that's what I think has to just reevaluate how we're doing things.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I mean, to be fair, and I'll only play this as one last counter and let you guys kind of all give thoughts because we could obviously stay here a good bit and talking about just that part. And I want to make sure you guys get your flowers for what a great performance today. And we're seeing if we can get a couple of the top X30 guys to talk to them too. And that's kind of where I go with this, right? Those guys are racing with pushbacks. Defensive driving, the sport's become a lot more about defense than offense over the last iteration too, and part of that started with the pushbacks to try and clean up the start specifically, especially in single speed, right? And that was the idea behind shifters being able to run without them. But you look at that X30 main from today, right? And how many races when you watch guy in second, guy in third, it's happened in junior, it's happened in mini, where you're white lining and there's no tools in your toolbox at that point, right? In the idea of respect between you guys, right? Where we've seen it in 24, if someone's purposely basically super slow, white line and holding you up from the driver in front, you guys will root him. But not just without at least trying. Yeah, free racing. So I'll kind of leave it at that. But I think that's a great kind of, not counter, but another comparison on a similar note, a little bit different than you guys because they don't have gears, they don't have front brakes. But you look at the race today, even if that wreck doesn't happen for Norberg in third and take him out of the championship, Ramos is going to win and Mossman's going to finish second. And it was over by lap 4.
Yeah, that is the problem with the pushbacks is it allows you to just white line it. Where now in the shifter, when they're white lining it for 3-4 laps in a row, swerving down the straight, you're like, okay, I'm done with you. You treat me with no respect. I'm going to move you out of the way because there's no respect there. Where with, I guess, the elder, as in like Billy, yeah, us, AJ, Andrew, it doesn't happen. We don't white line each other, and we don't blow each other out of the way. We've been doing this for, I know it was 2018 when I started running the pro category, and yeah, we got into it, and now it's good. I've crashed with everybody, but we all make up, and now we treat each other with respect. And there's just no respect from them white lining versus them blowing us out of the way.
Yeah, either one of you guys to add on or any other points too.
I think Kyle nailed it. It just the respect. Respect is the number one word you gotta use in here. Yeah, last lap you're gonna defend. You're sometimes gonna get contact. It's racing. It's a contact sport. I completely agree with that. I just don't like come to break defending. It would have been like Kyle in the last lap. Into I-70. I defended. Yeah. He was right behind me. It would have been okay for him to just push me off the way and under me. Because there's no penalty for that. And that's not okay. I led 15 laps. I was leading. I had the right of that corner. That's respect. He tried to get a draft and pass me. He couldn't make it happen. Simple as that. Sometimes you're second. And not only for him, for everyone. So that's what needs to change. It's not okay for a win, for third, for fifth, for seventh, last lap, you're defending aggressively in the last lap. I'm not talking about 15 to go. Last 2 laps, when you get the 2 to go, you're pretty much, going to go to the end. You just can't stop and get T-boned from behind, moved out of the way. That's all I'm saying that needs to change. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, we're learning too, I'll say even in that main event or even throughout the weekend, there was times when, me and Kyle went side by side for turn after turn after turn, and, even some other drivers went side by side.
Sorry.
Test 1, 2.
There you go.
Yeah, we're I'm learning who I can trust and who I can't trust. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if SKUSA doesn't step in and, these guys who do keep bumping and running, I mean, there's going to come a point where I'm just not going to even give them the time of day. And as soon as I see them on track, they're just going to be gone. And I really don't want to drive that way because it doesn't end well for anybody. You end up with situations like we had today. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to jump in there and say, for the people that we do respect, make the move happen. Like Danny said, dude, if somebody is defending, you're a race car driver, make the over and under, run the outside, try to make something happen, and put your talent and your skills on display, not just move the guy out of the way. So, yeah, I think we're better than that. I think we're all kind of saying the same thing. And yeah, I think moving forward, I hope this gets resolved.
Well, we're going to move over with Caleb for kind of a final bit of thoughts with y'all and let you boys get ready for some podium celebrations and hopefully some overall celebrations as well. So, Caleb, for a final question for these three before we go to Pro X30.
Yeah, final thing from us here. Kyle, Danny, biggest thing you guys have learned throughout the year, right? Big strides for you guys under the GFC package. Kyle, you've been super busy over in Washington, California, here at the SKUSA Pro Tour. What's the biggest thing you guys learned throughout the year?
For me, I don't feel like we've really lacked pace this year. It's just been poor execution on my part throughout the year. In Texas, we had pace in the final. In Ohio, we had pace in the final. And this weekend, we had real pace in the final to drive through the field. But it's not just poor execution on my part. As Danny said, how we showed up is basically how the go-kart is. Yeah, we tried some stuff here and there, but the package we have is great. We just have to work on driving it correctly.
Danny, for you, second national race weekend here. I know you've been driving over in Costa Rica as well, like you said, but what have you learned, now new package for you, finally getting that win?
How Kyle said, the package in Texas was phenomenal. I kind of talking with Sander after the race. We're kind of doing the math. Probably, 5,000 sets of tires are here. There's 300 drivers. No, 1,500, sorry. 1,500 sets of tires. It's impossible. 1,500 sets of tires, all four, you're going to get every time perfect set of tires. And it happened to me in Texas. Just the tires were undrivable. You get bad tires here and there. No, those were not even tires. Those were bricks. So we had pace. We showed it. Warm up. We went P1 right before the final and had the fast lap of the final. So the go-kart's fantastic. Like Kyle said, the IME just hard to drive towards the end of the race when the tires was going away. It lacks bottom, so rolling second gear is a very, very difficult engine to drive. But yeah, I'm so proud of the team. Kyle, myself, had great pace. Hunter Pickett came from 32nd to 12th or something. Great pace. Jacob Gulick, he struggled at the beginning of the weekend, but also showed great pace in the pre-final. He was the same pace as Kyle and myself. So yeah, the go-kart's fantastic. We're super stoked for Supernats. We're going to do obviously some team testing. Go up to California and drive with Kyle, with Hunter and Jacob, and hopefully find more time. This is only a Thursday to Sunday event. We don't, even though it's a lot, we don't drive that much to be able to test completely different things because you don't want to lose that window. Specifically when you leave the tent on Thursday and the car's so good, you don't want to be like, okay, let's change seats, axles, ride height. Like, you're not going to do that. You're going to try little things here and there. And that's what we did. And so now we go back some R&D and go full attack at Supernats. GFC's gotten poles there before. In my last win in Supernats, Kyle had to start pretty deep in the field, and he had very similar pace to me. I was able to gap the field quite a bit, so I think if he was up there, he would have fought me for the win. So they've had pace. Now we just have to execute, how Kyle said, the driving from day one. With Supernats, you get very limited practice, and qualifying is absolutely everything with no pre-final there. So, yeah, execute and try to get a win for GFC again.
Thank you, Danny. Billy, over to you. You've been busy, right? You were with us down in Texas testing. You've been everywhere, right, trying to find the right package. What did you learn the most here this year? And again, a championship at the end, right, for American Made? Yeah,
just learning. For us to literally build a chassis 8 days ago. We built our first one 9 days ago with the old, construction with old tubing, and we were like, okay, that was a lot, really, really good. Let's try something a little bit different. So for us to come out, literally second chassis that our new welder has ever welded, and for us to come out swinging like this, we didn't have the raw pace all the time. We had our windows, like, that pre-final and some of the heats, when the tires were gone and everybody else was sliding around, I definitely had grip. I mentioned a few times this weekend, is like, usually I'm really fast on the tight stuff here, and I'm sliding around in all the high speed, so it was really odd for me to have the exact opposite situation where, the high speed stuff, I was super hooked up, and then the slow speed stuff, I was too hooked up. So, obviously bringing that kind of mentality to Vegas, I have some really good plans and some really good ideas. We'll keep testing, keep digging, keep learning the material. We already have, like I said, 2-3 other things that we're going to build in the next couple weeks and go test and, keep bringing forward. So, yeah, for us to come out literally 8 days, second chassis off the jig, dude, I'm so happy. I can't even say it.
Well, congratulations, fellas, and we'll see you guys at Podiums. Quick commercial break from our side. We'll be right back with more.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All the way up to the finish line. Who is it going to be? And it's Sean Perez who wins in Crescent.
Ty Fisher wins $1,000 in KA100 Junior.
Alex Stanfield played it perfectly here. Told him to wait. Stanfield wins the Duffy in 2024 for TV Kart.
Amarillo Kart Complex is now the official distributor for TV Kart in the continental U.S. Become a dealer today.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Florida Kart Racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
Welcome back from our quick commercial break there. Just got wrapped up with our Pro Shifters. Our Pro X30s now sitting down here with us. Frankie Mossman finishing second here today. Austin Garrison, our 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour champion, and Diego Ramos, our winner here on the Sunday. First, Austin, we'll start with you. You didn't know it, right? Pulling into the pits that you were the champion. Now having a couple hours to sink in. I'm sure you talked to Mike Speed already. How are you feeling?
It's amazing. You know, just like you said, I didn't know. I seen everybody over the fence, and they're all giving me the number one and good job. And I'm like, what do you, for what? I'm like, what happened? And I had no idea that Ryan had contact, ripped his front bumper off. But yeah, after I came in, and it was, you know, I was obviously upset. I was gutted because I didn't know what was really going on. And then they're like, no, you ended up winning. And it was you know, the feelings just changed so drastically after that. And I just didn't really set it until like I got back to the tent, and then I was, you know, on some social media, and everybody's coming up to me and, you know, saying you did an awesome job, you know, we're fast all season, and then, you know, really started to go and set it, and so the feelings were, you know, I was pretty excited.
Frankie, over to you. A return with SCR and a return of the podium for you this weekend. Sum up your weekend here back in the Pro X30 class.
The whole weekend was pretty good overall. It kind of ended up pretty chaotic for today. You know, I felt really quick going into it, and I felt like me and Diego were pretty even, like I told him in the scale line, but obviously I wasn't. And I feel like my day kind of got ruined a little bit with some people, you know, trying to go for second. But overall, it was a good comeback. I had a struggle in happy hour. You know, I qualified pretty poor yesterday, and I just had a difficult day overall in the final yesterday. And I think we kind of turned it around, and we saw what I could do with the package. And I'm really proud of Austin and everything he did. And, you know, I saw like what it takes and what the work he puts in. And, you know, it's really respectable what he was able to put together. And he deserves it, I think, more than anyone.
Diego, over to you, right? A championship for you in KA Senior, and as well a return of victory lane in Pro X30. How did that feel?
Yeah, feel amazing. Like we spoke, my first championship win in the US. Yeah, in K, our stuff was really quick. Winning both days, just really happy with the work that we did. I think we are in the right direction, and yeah, winning next 30, my first winning. Yeah, just feel amazing. We did some testing last week. We try a lot. We work hard, and just pays off.
So first for Austin, we've got our TV up here showing the race, and first I've got the incident in the middle of the race. So first, kind of like go through the incident. What were you thinking in that moment? And obviously you didn't see Ryan go out of the race. So through the entire last half of like the entire race, what was going through your head? Like what was your what was the goal?
Yeah, so going, back to this, I didn't really see him on the inside until it was like last minute. And it probably kind of looked like he tried to go and back out a little bit, and then just kind of wheel hopped him there. Yeah, going 3 wide probably wasn't essential in that hairpin, but it happened, and it's what it is. But going after that, I was just so gutted. I'm like, what, we don't even have a shot now. It doesn't matter what even happens. And I never thought to go and pull in. I never pulled in before I was run the race all the way out, because you don't know what is going to go and happen. As today, you really don't know what's going to go and happen out there. So after they were telling me to go and just push and push, when they were over the fence telling me, I put my head down and try to pass as many people as possible, because his pack was blocking or racing really hard, and you never know on the last couple laps if you can possibly catch up to them. So definitely never gave up, and it panned out.
Yeah, Austin, I mean, you showed up to this track a couple years ago in USPKS and walked away with a very enormous win for you at the time in the regular season. You now come back here 2 years later, a USPKS championship last year, a Pro Tour championship this year, and really, I mean, alongside Ryan, the 2 main protagonists in the U.S. for the last 2 to 3 years. I mean, how big has this been building up to kind of this moment? And, just talk me through the emotions of kind of finally conquering the Pro Tour for your first Pro Tour championship in Pro X30.
Yeah, no, we've been working really hard. Like I said, like last year, I've been doing races here and there the past, like 2.5 years. I've been going in, and I would do a couple USPKS races, and then I would take some time off, and I would run a Pro Tour race for the whole season, and then like I did last year, but like we weren't full the year before that. So going last year to run everything and ended up winning the USPKS was massive. And we know for a couple of the SKUSA races last year that we were really, really fast, and obviously finishing in the top 10 you're involved in that winner's circle. And for us coming out here, we conquered the USPKS championship last year, and then going into this year for the SKUSA Pro Tour, we knew we were just hyper focused on that, trying to go and just conquer the SKUSA Pro Tour. And for having the first time for me ever in tag to go and win the championship is amazing. I didn't think coming into this weekend, I'm like, wow, I'm 60-something points back. It's going to be very difficult. I don't know what was going to go down, but we just pushed as hard as we possibly can, and the win yesterday just helped so much. And we put so much effort for this series. It's crazy.
And Diego, I mean, coming over to you now, this year had been a bit of an up and down battle in the X30 side of things, but this weekend finally found the pace. What do you think was the key ingredient for you this weekend?
I mean, like I said, we have been testing a lot. We try a lot of different things, and I think we finally find a really, really fast pace. And yeah, we're gonna start working from there. And yeah, like I said, I think we find the right way.
Yeah, for you, Diego, next, right? Like you said, it's been an up and down battle for you guys all year. You guys tested through things at the chassis, right? That some may never expect. How was Dominic's reaction to you guys at the end of it? I know Franz looked pretty happy with you as well at the end of it.
Yeah, I think the whole team they were really happy. They have been working so hard with me in the past like 2 years, and finally I think we just made the right change. And yeah, I think we're gonna be really strong in the super nets, and the next round starts. Like I said, we just need to keep working, keep pushing, and everything is gonna pay off.
Next, over to you, Frankie, right? I mean, you have a career going for you in the car side of things, been racing with VRD on the podium last weekend. What continues to bring you out here to the karting paddock, right? What's the drive for you to continue to come back?
It's my competitiveness. I want to come and leave a legacy just like how Ryan and Austin and, Diego going and winning, and I think he's going to keep a good, strong streak, with how he looked in the X30 this weekend and how he's been in the KA all year, I'm just trying to follow in the footsteps and lead another generation of the top-tier karters in single speed and, eventually probably try to go into shifter. But, I have a really big focus on my car program as well, too. And like you said, I was on the podium last weekend. So, two second-place finishes in a row over the course of 2 weekends is not what I wish for, But I think we're on a good track, and it's just going to turn around for the later part of the year.
And as well, we haven't asked you yet, but what went into the decision of moving back to SCR here this weekend?
I mean, they're family to me. I've had a lot of faith in them, and they've had a lot of faith in me, and it's kind of turned around. I think we had a good run with Kart Republic at the beginning of the year. I won my first SKUSA Winter Series championship in KA, and I just feel like I had the right package with SCR, and I think it's only going to get better and better. I've been out of the kart for a couple months now, so I knew the transition was going to be hard, and especially coming back on another chassis. And I feel like they gave me the goods to be able to go and do whatever I could.
Yeah, I want to direct y'all's attention over to the TV here as well. I'm not sure if you guys have watched it yet, but this is the incident that unfortunately took the number one, Ryan, out of the race here. And again, it was an incident with Ruben. But yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, and love to have you guys break it down as well.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm seeing this. I haven't seen it yet.
And again, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, it looked like Ryan at the last minute. They looked like Ryan kind of turned in a little bit on Zach. I know he was surrounded by a lot of people who were pressuring him a lot. He was caught on the outside. Maybe he tried to go and get a run on the outside and beat him to going into corner one. But running up with somebody like Zach, who you race against when you're out there, and probably chopping him wasn't going to be
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, I agree too.
Because he probably already saw that Garrison had an incident in the beginning. I think in that point of the race, the guys blocking and fighting really hard. It just, in my opinion, you just need to calm down a bit. And even with Zach, in that point for me, it's just like breathe and calm down and thinking about the championship. Because if he just had lifted there, lose 1-2 spots, he's still gonna win the championship. But he tried to make the corner side by side with Zach and outside. For sure, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I know like Zach and Ryan, their history hasn't been the greatest in the past, as everybody has seen. But running with somebody like that, I would be more cautious and on that line for sure.
Good to hear your guys' take on it as well. And you were talking about history, right, Austin? I mean, you and Ryan go way back. You guys were teammates whenever you guys were I think, very, very young in your junior days. And again, I think more often than not, he's found himself kind of beating you in those championship points. How does it feel, right, finally getting one last year at PKS here and then getting one this year?
Yeah, no, like I said before, it feels amazing. And, Ryan is very hard to go and beat. He's been dominant for years over here in the U.S. And for me, being out of tag for a while before I came back into it a few years back, like he was dominant, like winning everything. And for me to go and come back and ended up winning USPKS and the SKUSA Pro Tour was massive. I can't really go and tell you too much about feelings because it's just through the roof of how awesome it is. And all having hats off to Ryan. Me and him battled super hard, and we were first and second in Houston on both days, and going into the final round at Cincinnati on Saturday, we were battling super hard. I got a penalty on Sunday for driving a little bit too hard with Ryan, which kind of hurt me in the points going into the last round. But me and him, even at USPKS, we're battling as hard as possible. We keep it clean. It's a job we have to go and do. And I ended up fortunately the racing gods were on my side today.
Yeah, and you've done it all as well, right? You were one of the first Americans to make it into the main event at the World Championships. Raced over in Europe for quite some time, but would you say, is this number one on your accomplishments in your career?
For the SKUSA Pro Tour, I don't know. I think, yeah, it's up there. I mean, it's kind of hard to go and put in a category. I know a long time ago in shifter, like as Gary Carlton was the first guy to make it in the Worlds for an American. I was second. That was huge for me to go out there and run the KZ World Finals. And then won the SKUSA Pro Tour when they had the stock moto. That was massive. But winning the SKUSA Pro Tours, you know, was very difficult as well. And so is USBKS last year. I mean, they all kind of have, you know, their ups and downs, like why it's better and why it's not. But yeah, no, they're all pretty even. This one's for sure high on my bucket list. Super Nats is first. I want to win that really bad.
There you go. Diego, and I want to talk to you next, right? Momentum. You guys have ended the year, the regular season, on a high, an absolute high. How do you guys feel, you know, your packages now at the end of 2025 moving into 26?
For sure, really strong compared to last year. We started the year not really fast in X30, but I think now we just show our pace again. And like I said, I think we are in the right way. We keep testing, keep working, and yeah, hope I can be that quick in Super Nats and maybe win that one.
Next over to you, Frankie, as well, right? I mean, we're used to seeing you sometimes over at the Super Nats. Is that on the, I guess, on the schedule this year?
No, 100%. I was planning on taking my ticket from winning the Winter Nationals, Winter Series, to go over to Europe and try the IMA Warrior Final, but I have a schedule confliction that weekend with a test in Indy next, and so I'm gonna have to stay back and go to the Super Nats with the ticket that I got. And I think I'm gonna try to go double duty again, and you know, this time not get into a dogfight and actually go and lead.
Last thing from our side, the biggest change that we saw this year as well has been the schedule, right? Your guys' format as well. Have you guys been happier with the format this year compared to last year's? You know, you guys being obviously in the pro show as well. Have you guys been happier with the double main events this year?
Yeah, I like the double main events better because, you know, you're leading all the way up in the heat races, and then you just have one final on Sunday, and then, you know, you have a lot of times where it can go, you know, very wrong. But if something happens on Saturday, you always got to look forward to Sunday that, you know, you have one drop. Last year, you didn't have a drop, right? I think. I'm not really sure. You know, you didn't have a drop, yeah. So now you get a drop this year. It's, you know, it's not like it's any easier because, you know, there's more racing involved that you can actually go and have a bad race, and it can really hurt in the long run. But I think, you know, running the Saturday-Sunday schedule for like round 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 is a little bit better for me.
Yeah, I guess for all three of you, you know, you talk about the drops. Is that something that you think that we still need that's like necessary in this class, or do you think that we could get away with that next year?
It's very difficult because you can have something happen to a front-running guy who, you know, if a motor blows up and it wasn't his fault and on track, and then his championship's over because a faulty part from his piston rod went bad, or a lower rod bearing or something went bad. It's not his fault, and you need a drop on something like that, I think.
Yeah, I think the drop's pretty necessary for, you know, only having 6 rounds. In the cars where we don't have one, you know, so if something goes wrong, you can at least claw your way back up with having over 18 races. But I just don't think it's possible in something like this, especially if we only did a Sunday main event.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, fellas, I'm just jumping in. I know you guys have probably covered quite a bit of overall the racing this weekend. Did you guys get to watch some of the Pro Shifter guys? Because we obviously had them up. And I asked them a little bit of your thoughts, right, on how, or mainly on your race, right? 2 pretty different rule sets. You guys have pushbacks. They don't. They have 6 gears. You guys don't. Austin, you've won races and championships in shifter. You got the most experience of the 3 of y'all. So from what you witnessed on all fronts of the shifter main, what'd you make of it?
Yeah, no, that shifter main, I've seen a lot of stuff for being, you know, pro shifter that wasn't, you know, really pro about it. There was a lot of stuff where people blasted each other off the racetrack, some that were deserved, some wasn't, and, you know, the racing, it's always hard in shifter when you start to go in block. It's almost possible to go and pass in a gearbox. But the only thing that I don't really like is I know they don't have a pushback, but if you're blocking and no matter what you can't find a way around it, you know, and you're having to block every lap to go in and win, it's you know, it's not a great win. If you do end up going and winning, it's kind of, you know, it kind of sucks for ruining everybody else's race and you're just blocking every single lap. But we have a pushback. And I seen a bump and run earlier this year that if you had a pushback, that would have for sure folded in and you would have got a penalty for it. Because if you're blocking, you can't find a way around, just to blast somebody out the way and win. Yeah, you're frustrated, you're behind them, and it's just what it is. But hitting people out the way, I never done that even when we had no pushbacks when I was running SKUSA Pro Tour and Shifter. But yeah, no, there was some up and down things that I saw that I liked, and some were deserved, some weren't, and kind of like mixed feelings about it. But for the top guys, I think they did a really good job. They always have been.
Frankie?
Yeah, no, I think the race was good overall. I think it was deserving to a lot of people, and some people got obviously screwed over. But I was standing on the fence line watching the race, and you got parents and mechanics yelling to send the guy in front of them off, and honestly, it's a little embarrassing. So I think there is something that kind of has to be put in place for next year or at some point coming up to enforce, better racing and more opportunity for closer and bigger battles for the gearbox outdoors.
Diego?
Yeah, for me, it was a bit chaotic. I think you already know my opinion. For sure, someone didn't deserve that. And yeah, it's tough in a class that everyone should be pros. They are like represent a brand and everything. Losing the championship or winning the championship like that. Congrats to Billy. He did an awesome job. But the way that ended in our side and for Mateus and with my team, I don't think so was right. If you're running that class, like the Saudi guy, yesterday got black flag for me, nothing. And today the guy did 2 ice and no penalties. Yeah, it's just tough.
Yeah, they talk about respect, right? And Frankie, you and Paulie, we kind of caught a little bit of you guys catching up after the pre-final. So in a similar way, you're back in Pro X30 this weekend. I'm sure you'd love to be able to race this as much as possible, along with everything else you got going on. But that kind of goes along the lines. What we a little bit of the caught of the conversation. It seemed like, again, Paulie not necessarily frustrated, wanting to beat you up, just going, look, dude, like, we race this way.
Oh, 100%. We race against each other all year. It's not like most of the front-running people change up and down, And I think a lot of the shifter people tend to forget that, and then they're so competitive with each other that it ends up kind of biting them in the back when they're trying to go win championships and everything. And I can tell you now, like, the conversations that we have after the track or after the races and whatever, most of them wash away after 30 minutes, and we go and talk about it and all's forgiven and whatever else. But, we're racing for big money, and we're calling ourselves pros, so you gotta handle yourself like one too.
Yeah, and that's kind of the good part of this year. Paulie gave you a lot of credit, Diego, over plenty of the races you guys have been. You two have been around each other, I feel like, more this year than any other duo in the 125 seniors. And there's plenty of times we've seen both of you guys point each other by, right? Can you speak a little bit to that and the respect you guys have, and similarly you and Garrison and the like?
Yeah, me and Paulie, we have been racing a lot, even last year in Stars of the championship. It's just about respect, like how you race them, like if you're gonna race hard or aggressive or stupid, they're gonna race you back the same way. And he's really nice guy. I like them, his family, and it's just about respect.
Yeah, and saying like, even running with Diego or even Paulie, like when you're like on a main event, you're like on lap 10, for instance, and they're a second in front of you and they're in third. If in 2 laps, if you catch up to them, they're not gonna battle you. Like, I don't have pace. They know that something's going on. Even same with me, I'm not gonna go and look over my shoulder on lap 10 out of 20 laps because I don't have pace and try to go and block and ruin the race. I'm like, if you got a chance to go and win, I'm not going to take that away from you. I don't have the pace to be up front and fight for the win, and we kind of probably are all the same on that. We're not going to go and battle you super hard like some other drivers would, fighting for third when you have a chance to go and actually win this race. And you never know, because in the long run, if you're up front and even catch the guy in first, they start blocking the last few laps, that can bring you right back into the mix to even have a fight for the win. So it's kind of strategy in a way, and also being a mutual respect with everybody of, hey, I don't have my piece running right to win. I don't want to sacrifice anything for my fellow competitor to go and try to win. Go out there and do the best you possibly can.
I'll give this one specifically to you, and then let Caleb take it back for another one. But we're just getting to the point in terms of the broadcast where we were able to let you know, although we kind of got beat to the punch by your team and how excited they were, screaming across the fence and everybody. This championship, right? This was a big deal last year, and I think it went a bit under the radar until we got to this weekend a year ago of the prize package that's here. $10,000 is headed your way, cash. Supernats entry and tires, Pro Tour entry and tires. Diego, you're unfortunately after penalties, we thought you were third. Penalty for Aiden came in, you're fourth, but you're still funded for next year and inside the prize pool, and I think it'll be $1,500 for P4 cash on top of that. So, Austin, can you speak to how much that means to you guys?
Yeah, no, that's massive. Another thing that the reason why we go and run these races and try to go and win is not only for have our brand being up front, but for honestly for me to keep on racing and to help the whole team out. Like when I go and win money, I go and split it to kind of help cover costs. Because even running for USPKS, and if I win money in that, we don't have as many drivers as for the SKUSA Pro Tour, and splitting cash in that for this past year, and even like last year, that helps a lot. So for winning this series here, and it takes a big load off of Mike's speed going into Supernats of having the tires and entry and fuel and all that, which is awesome. So, and that kind of benefits me more, and the team in a whole makes more money on wins that I get and championships that I go in and have, and so it makes everybody happy.
Man, I thought I was going somewhere a little bit with that. I need a second to gather it. We got all the way back up to the replay package here at the end. But yeah, going on that same point, right? With the year-end championship versus the races, right? Paying the way that it does, and then here, I remember it now actually. For you guys this year, you look at the Pro X30 class. Sure, Cincinnati, you were the only driver besides Gus and Ryan that could hang at the front. And then Speed Sports, you compare that to a year ago, and you even told me a little bit of, man, I wasn't going to lose that race on Sunday, especially after Saturday the way it ended. How do you feel the motor programs have kind of improved? It visually looks like there's a couple more different engine builders out there that are starting to get competitive, including you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely people go and look at, the AVP motors with Ryan. They go and obviously compare how they go out there with their motors. They're trying to go and work as hard as they can to go and have a motor that can go and run up with their guys, because those guys have been winning everything in the leading edge on that. But, with Speed, they've been doing a phenomenal job. These guys work literally 24/7 for their junior program and senior category. They don't stop dynoing motors and trying to find little things here and there to go and make it better. I know Diego this year is on our motor program, and and he's been doing really well on it. Frankie came back from cars, he's on it, he's doing well. Aiden, me, and even a couple other rentals that we have out, our motor program's doing good. But definitely have other teams with different motor programs. I think P1 Motors was one that was up because I think Jesus finished third today. He has his motor solid. BN and BBS, I think their motors are solid. Yeah, they're all putting in work, and I can't take any credit away from them. The guys are doing an awesome job. It's not easy at all, because they're nonstop working to find a little bit here and there. And, you got to just work with the gray areas, but. I think we got a pretty good handle on our motor program. It's solid.
And the tire's different too, right? Again, Frankie, this weekend, you seem to be a little bit better today than even yesterday. You weren't bad yesterday, and we didn't get a good read because of the pre-final. But what was the big change for you overnight?
I don't think it was so much more setup. I think we got a lot closer with the Kart, but still, I mean, you just got to place yourself in the right spot at the right time. You saw what happened to Austin, and right as he tried to go make a pass, and all of a sudden you're cleaned out. And, and maybe if I didn't let Ruben get by me earlier on, maybe that would have changed what happened with Diego and everything else. And you don't know how it's going to all play out, and I don't know what really changed overnight. I know the team's putting in a lot of work and probably not telling me most of the stuff that they're doing, and I'm fine with that because my job is just to go out and drive.
Diego, what about you? I mean, even this year, across the board, you guys have seemingly leveled up on the single-speed package, right? What's been some of the big things you've been proud of, and what have you found to be able to, have a day like today?
Yeah, testing a lot. Test different frame. Also, this year have been so good in X30 with speed engines, but we always struggled a bit in X30 more than KA. Even last year the chassis was really good with Wheeler in KA, and then this year just showed that it's quick again. Need to thank Switch Engines that was amazing today and during the season. But yeah, I think was more about the setup, in X30, and find myself as well, like driving on Evinco tires that is different than MG. We have a lot of issues this year with like bad sets, but we never know if it was exactly the tires. You always have like something in your mind, but this year, thanks God, everything went really good, and I think we are in the right way with the setup and the program.
All right, to wrap up and let you guys get back to helping the teams kind of clean up on the weekend and get ready for podiums. What's the celebration tonight looking like, Austin? This is a big day.
Well, see how we're starting out. This is the second one of today. Probably going to go to water after this and tear down that tent because you get dehydrated pretty quick. I've done that a couple times. But, yeah, after that, get back, shower up, clean up, and have a couple of beers, celebrate with the boys. It's been a long time coming, so.
Frankie, you joining in on that, or are you out of here?
I'm going to the hotel near the airport, so not much for me to do out here. In Canada, I was legal though, so that was cool.
What about you, Diego?
No, not today. I'm going back to Chicago to get a flight tomorrow. Need to go there because Mateus is flying from there, and the team wanted me to go there as well. Yeah, good news. I'm not drinking in this past month. Trying to be a bit more focused, and yeah.
Here you go. How about still other ways to celebrate?
Yes.
All right, so I guess I'm the only one drinking, but I'll be all right. Makes me look bad, but all right. Thanks, guys.
No.
Hey, it's all right. There'll be a few others, I'm sure, for this weekend. Thank you so much, guys, for the time. We appreciate it. We look forward to celebrating you all at the podiums here in a little bit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everyone. We'll take a little break in the coverage. We'll be back with podium ceremony shortly. All right, everyone, we'll go ahead and get started with race day podiums and then championship podiums. First up, we'll do Master Shifters. Third place today in Rocket Racing Company Master Shifter, Skitchy Barnes. Second place today in Rocket Racing Company Master Shifter, Tim Hollowell. And your main event winner in Rocket Racing Company Master Shifter, Jordan Musser. All right, fellas, appreciate all the nice presentation. Raise the trophies up nice and high. Master Shifter Sunday Final. Next up, and we'll bounce around a little bit and go through the same order back for championships. X30 Junior, presented by Rollison Performance Group. Third place today, Tristan Murphy. Second place today in RPG X30 Junior, Alexander Vinchev. And your main event winner, a first-time SKUSA Pro Tour win for Jose Alejandro Helfin. All right. Raise the trophies up, boys. Give it up one more time for your X30 Junior podium. Next up will be Speed Concepts Racing Mini Swift. Third place today in the Mini Swift main event, Maxwell Macha. Second place in Speed Concepts Racing Mini Swift. Oh, what a fight this was to the end. My goodness. P2. Faston Wyatt! Oh yeah, and starting here with both X30 Junior and Mini Swift and every class up and over 30 entries, come to the desk over to the left to get your prizes. And a big prize here for our main event winner in Mini Swift, Win Gotcha! All right, fellas, trophies up above your heads. Give it up for your Mini Swift main event podium. Next up, we'll go to Nash Motorsports KA100 Senior. Third place today in Nash Motorsports KA Senior, Ruben Moya. Second place in Nash Motorsports, KA Senior, Oliver Hodgson. And your main event winner is here. Let's give it up for your main event winner in KA Senior, doubling up Diego Ramos. All right, boys, trophies above your heads. Give it up for your KA Senior podium. Next up, TKG Bureau Art USA KA100 Junior. Third place today, Max Weiland. Second place in KA Junior. At the end of it all, Isaac Melchior. And your main event winner, perfect under pressure the entire 16 laps, Travis Pettit. Once again, here our championships top 3 will follow. Give it up one more time for your K Junior podium. Next up will be Velocity Racing by Sodi, Micro Swift. Third place in the Micro Swift main event, Lennox Lockhart. P2 today in Velocity Racing by Sodi, Micro Swift, Brody Stuffle. And your main event winner in Velocity Racing Micro Swift, first time, Zev Gottschalk. All right, we need a healthy round of applause for this one. Raise it up, Zev. Give it up for your Micro Swift podium. All right, next up will be Kart CRG USA Pro X30, and then we'll get into our championship podiums. Once again, all classes above 30. Pretty much everyone here, besides Master Shifter, needs to make the trip over to the SKUSA desk at some point to make sure you have paperwork signed. And your prize is declared for Kart CRG Pro X30's main event. Third place, Jesus Vasquez Jr. Second place today in Kart CRG Pro X30, Frankie Mossman. And your main event winner, his first in Pro X30 to double the senior divisions in single speed today, Diego Ramos. And finally, your Pro Shifter by PSL Karting podium. We'll bring them up to the stage here to the top 3 steps. Third place today, Corentin Russo. And second place today in Pro Shifter, Kyle Wick. And while Danny Formel had to peace out early, let's give it up one more time for the last of our race day podiums here for the SKUSA Pro Tour. All right, we'll start back at the top where we did before with Master Shifter presented by Rocket Racing Company. Third place in the 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour, Skitchy Barnes. P2 today in Rocket Racing Company, Master Shifter when the dust settled in the standings, Scott Presti. And your 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour Master Shifter champion by 75 markers, Scott Hargrove. Next up will be RPG X30 Juniors Championship Top 3. Third place today in RPG X30 Juniors Championship standings at the end of it all in his rookie season, Ashton Woon. Your 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour Vice Champion in X30 Junior, Max Weiland. And your champion in RPG X30 Junior, Alexander Vanchev. And boys, well, you know what's coming now here after every class championship. Raise those trophies in the sky and give it up for your X30 Junior Championship podium. All right, next up we'll do Speed Concepts Racing Mini Swift. As the X30 Juniors clear third place in the 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour in the Mini Swift final standings, Win Godshock! Your 2025 Mini Swift Speed Concepts Racing Vice Champion, Jaden Francisco! And your 2025 Mini Swift champion, Enzo De Janeiro. All right, Enzo, get up there. Trophies up as the fireworks go. Next up, Nash Motorsports K100 Senior. Third place, keeping one of the top 3 plates on the cart for 2026 in K100 Senior, presented by Nash Motorsports, James Overbeck. Your 2025 KA100 Senior Vice Champion, due to the stage, Oliver Hodgson. And your 2025 KA100 Senior SKUSA Pro Tour National Champion, Diego Ramos. All right, hop up there, Diego. Trophies up, fellas. Give it up for your KA Senior Championship podium. All right, next up, K100 Junior, presented by TKG Biro Art USA's Championship Top 3. As we'll finish up with K100 Senior with then Micro Swift Pro X30 and Pro Shifters Championships. For K100 Junior, third place, Max Weiland. Second place in your TKG K100 Junior Championship, Travis Pettit. And sweeping the junior titles, your K Junior National Champ, Alexander Vanchev. All right, hop on up there, Alex. Because here we go, your K Junior 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour podium. Velocity Racing Micro Swift next up. Third place in the championship standings here, with bolstered by a massive performance today, P3 Zev Gottschalk. your 2025 Velocity Racing Micro Swift Vice Champion, Lennox Lockhart. And your 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour Micro Swift National Champion, Brody Stoffel. And finally, your two headline divisions here on the weekend. We'll start with Pro X30 for the championship trophies. Third place in Kart CRG Pro X30's final standings, Paulie Massimino. Your 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour Vice Champion, Ryan Norberg. And the first of the two major prize packages, 10 grand, Supernatch entries, and the 2026 Pro Tour to your champ, Austin Garrison. And we'll let Austin hop on up there. One more class to go for our championship trophies, but first, give it up for your Pro X30 Championship Podium. And finally, to close out the 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour, we'll have your top three for Pro Shifter. Once again, for championship drivers as well, make sure to make your way to the desk. PSL Karting, Pro Shifter, the number 3 plate heading into Vegas. And for 2026, Josh Conker. Your 2025 PSL Karting Pro Shifter Vice Champion, AJ Myers. And the final accolade, your 2025 Pro Shifter by PSL Karting Champion, Billy Musgrave. And we'll let Billy hop up and to send off the 2025 SKUSA Pro Tour, your Pro Shifter PSL Karting Championship Podium. Thanks for watching. Thanks for racing. Thanks for being a part of a record-setting Summer Nationals at 300+. We'll see you at the next one with our coverage, and we'll let the podium open up for pictures and celebrations.